Hey bosses, I am Lavelle. Today is the final day of the Boss Up series, which is the first time I'm doing this series on my channel. And of course, Facebook is over here blinking. I don't know what's going on. It's always something with Facebook. Okay, so this is the last day of the Boss Up series. In this week, we were talking all about your client onboarding process. If you've not watched any of the videos all week long, I'm Lavelle, a virtual support professional who provides services for virtual assistant, project management, podcast management, social media management, all the things, because I was an IT project manager and I said, you know what, I'm going to start doing this from home. So if you are here, say hi. If you are watching the replay, say replay. And we're going to jump into it because this is our last day of talking about the client onboarding process. I hope you guys have got some good tips and information from the lives that I did all week long. But like I said, if you remember nothing else about what I said all week, this is the one that you need to remember. These are the things that you need to remember. In your client onboarding process, there are 3 things that you should have. 3 things, okay? If you remember nothing else, at least remember that you want to have these 3 things in your client onboarding process. Because we need to stop with the clients who are basically asking you for refunds like in the first day or the first week. Or the clients who are not referring your services because, you know, they weren't wowed. And then those clients who are just ghosting you after you sent them a proposal because, again, they weren't wowed or you didn't reassure them that they were signing up for services that they really needed or they really wanted, or, you know, you just pushed them over the edge and said, hey, you know, these are services that you really must have. Because you have a lack of a client onboarding process for some of you. Some of you don't have a client onboarding process. Some of your processes are just send the client the bill and that's it. And then the last one, you know, your processes are cluttered and confusing and your clients don't know, why did I just pay this person like $500, right? Why did I just pay this person $1,000, right? Because clearly they didn't think enough to actually have some type of onboarding process once I got into their actual company or into their services that I just paid for. So if you remember nothing else about what I talked about all week, today is the day that you should at least remember. These are the 3 C's that you should have in your client onboarding process. The first one is the obvious, right? And the most important. Your first one is collection. The first part of your client onboarding process is collection. And that's obviously you're collecting information that you need from the client, right? So whether it's collecting their emails, collecting, you know, especially if you're a coach or consultant, like which days of the week are we going to start meeting? Like which days are more convenient for you? Like whatever that information that you needed from the client, especially if it gets you quickly started on their projects. That's the first part of your client onboarding process that you need to take a look at. What information are you collecting from your client that helps you to start giving them their services like immediately, quickly? So those are the things that you need to ask them like in the very first email or the very first meeting that you guys have, so that you have that information so that you can get to their projects, get to their services, start serving your clients. So collection is the number 1 thing that you should remember when you're thinking about your client onboarding process. The number 2 thing, and I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything as I'm talking. The number 2 thing is communication. In your client onboarding process, somewhere in there needs to be some type of communication. The client needs to know, how can I communicate with you if I need to send you an email about whatever that is, right? Whatever that thing is. If I need to schedule a meeting, how am I supposed to schedule a meeting? You have to make sure that they have the right links for when they're needing to schedule meetings. If it's a coaching or consulting business and you guys have like a regular setup, they need to have that link so that every time they need to schedule a meeting, it's just here, right? So whatever tool that you're using where clients can log in, somewhere in that tool needs to be like, you need to schedule a meeting, this is where you go, right? The other part of the communication process is, or the communication that your client needs to know when they sign up, what times are you available to answer them, right? So not what times they can send you a question, because, I mean, people lives, right? Like I was supposed to be on live 9 o'clock. I was in the car at 9 o'clock, but I'm showing up still tonight, right? So that's people's lives as well, right? People have kids, people have families. If I remember, okay, at midnight, oh my gosh, I wanted to tell my coach this, whatever this thing is. I'm going to send an email so I don't forget, right? But they need to know that if they send you the email at 12 o'clock tonight, not that you're going to answer it at 12 o'clock tonight, but that sometime between your hours of, let's say, 9 to 4, you're going to answer that email, or you're going to respond within 24 hours. You need to have somewhere in that client onboarding process that they know, okay, I'm going to send them an email tonight. They're going to answer me within 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever that window is for your business. Your clients need to know that up front. They don't need to try to figure it out as days go by, like, well, a day's gone and they haven't answered me yet. If your process is like 48 hours, right? Like, they're going to be like, well, what's going on? I send them an email, nobody's answering me. Or they need to know, okay, you don't work on the weekends. If it's part of your business to not work on the weekends, they need to know that so that they're not sitting over here trying to figure out, okay, they're not responding. Like, what is it, right? So communication, that needs to happen in the early phase of your client onboarding process. They need to know when they can communicate with you and where they can communicate with you. So if it's like a support email or a regular email that you have, whatever that email address is, they need to have it. And then if they're scheduling meetings, they need to know what that scheduler is and where are they. Hey, where are they scheduling the meetings? Last but not least, connection. Connection is the last thing that you need to have as part of your client onboarding process. A lot of people don't do this. In some service businesses like virtual assistants, we do, because we ask for things like, you to take a personality test, or what's the other one? That Colby-A index. A lot of people ask for that so that you can see the type of clients that you're working with and the type of clients that are coming into your business. So you get their personalities. A lot of coaches don't do that, and I wish more would, especially some of the coaches that I've worked with, because a lot of people don't understand everybody's personality is not the same. Hey, everybody's personality is not the same, right? Everybody that comes into your business does not operate in the same way. So you have to build some type of connection with that person, and it's maybe figuring out what their personality type is, figuring out how they prefer to communicate. Like, I'm the type of person, if you ask me a question on the spot, I might give you an answer. It might not be the best answer, but I'm the type of person that thinks. Like, I have to think about what it is that I'm going to respond with when you ask me a question, right? I really want to think and give you a thoughtful answer versus just throwing me on the spot and saying, answer the question. I'm the type of person that will go back and really think about it and then give you like a real meaty answer if you give me that time, right? I'm an introvert, but I don't think that's related to being an introvert, but that's just the way that I am, right? I have to process. So if you have some type of way in your onboarding process so that you can learn your person's or your new client's personality or the way that they operate or the way that they think, I think it's so much better for you at the end of the day, because okay, I'm going into this meeting with this person and this is how they think, this is how they operate. So I know that going in, right? Or I know that I'm going in this meeting with somebody who's an introvert. So I might have to pull a little bit more from this person versus somebody who's an extrovert and they just want to talk, right? They just want to talk when you get into your meetings. Everybody is not the same way, and you cannot expect that in your business, especially if you're a coach or consultant, that everybody that comes and they're having sessions with you, that they're just going to be all open. Like, some people, you really have to break the shell and break into, okay, we're going to have to go a little bit deeper. Or like in my case, if you give me like maybe some of the questions beforehand, like I can think about some of that stuff before we actually have the conversation, and then I'll have a way more thoughtful answer for you than if you just ask me on the spot. So I feel like more coaches and consultants need to do that. Have some type of way where you can connect with your client, or you can learn more about them, so that when you get into sessions with them, you can connect. So those were the 3 C's, and I have a bonus C for you guys. But those are the 3 C's that I want to talk about for your client onboarding process. It's collection, where the information that you're collecting up front so that you can get started quickly on their services or their projects. Communication, they need to understand, okay, this is how they communicate with you. These are the times that you communicate. These are your response times. They just need to have that information up front. And connection, building some type of connection with your clients, especially if you're going to be working together on a regular basis. You should have some type of connection built in there. Now, the last C, which is the bonus C, I think, is celebration. A lot of people don't do the celebration. When you get a new client, hey ma, when you get a new client, celebrate that new client, right? You have somebody new that's coming into your business, and you should be excited. They should be excited about working with you. And it's as simple as sending an email that's saying, hey, thank you so much for signing up for my services. I can't wait for us to get on the first call, right? Celebration doesn't have to be anything huge. Or it can even be something like, you do a quick video that says, hey, and you personalize it. You add their name like, Hey Lavelle, that's my name. Hey Lavelle, I'm so glad that you signed up for my services. I can't wait for us to get together for our first session, and whatever else that you want to say, right? So celebrate that new client that you get them. Get them excited about talking to you. Get them excited about the money that they just spent. Like I said it in another video. It's a mindset shift for a lot of people to be spending like $500, $1,000, $2,000 on these high ticket services that people provide. Make them realize that, okay, I made the right decision by actually turning over that money, right? Let them feel like, okay, this person really cares about what we're about to do in these sessions, right? Make them feel celebrated. So that's the bonus. That's the bonus part of the client onboarding process celebration. Not everybody does it. I think more people should. I think you probably retain a lot more clients if you do. I think you probably get a lot more referrals if you do, because they're going to be like, oh, wait, none of my other coaches ever did that, right? Because not a lot of them do that. So I think that puts you over the top if you add celebration onto the other C's of the client onboarding process. All right. So that's my spiel for the night, because it's already late. And I hear their dad trying to keep them downstairs so they don't come upstairs and, jump in the room. But real quick, collection, communication, connection, and then the bonus, celebration. All of that should be part of your client onboarding process. Now tonight, or probably tomorrow, because probably tomorrow, I'm going to go back and update all of these videos, and I'm going to have a link for you guys so you can download the free checklist for your client onboarding process. I think it's ready. I'm finally ready to let it go and let you guys have it before I add anything else to it. It basically gives you a checklist of what should be in your client onboarding process. I give you some of the tools that I use and some other options that you can use. Most of the tools that are listed are free, or they have some type of free version. I give you a free option in every single one, and some of them might be paid options. You just figure out the one that works best for you, and then it has like a before and after, so you can, do take a look at your client onboarding process before, and then after you make the changes, take a look at after to see how you improved. And then I'm gonna do a more not elaborate. I'm gonna do an actual video that explains and goes into more detail on the 3 C's of the client onboarding process, because I think that is a key thing that everybody needs to have in their business. And I'll actually try to put a link to that in the download as well. So I'll have that links up. You should see all the links by tomorrow. I'll go back and update all the old videos and this one with the links on where you can go grab that free download. I thank you guys for joining me this week. That lets me know that you are trying to be a boss, and you are trying to boss up your business, and you're definitely trying to boss up your client onboarding process. Okay, so I'm a boss, you're a boss. Let's boss up together. We're gonna see how this series went. I'm gonna look at my analytics probably next week to see how it went, and then we'll see. I think I said I was gonna do this once a quarter. But depending on the analytics that I see, maybe I'll try to do it more. So if you guys have ideas on what you, want help with in your business, or some topics that you think I can cover, just DM me and I'll just add it to the list. I think I already have some of what I want to talk about next, but you can DM me. Just slide in the DMs and tell me what it is that you're looking for in your business, especially if you are a service-based business owner, a coach, or a consultant. Just hit me up and let me know what you're thinking. All right, so that's it. That's the end. I did an entire series. All right, so I'm a boss, you're a boss. Let's boss up together, and let's make sure that you guys boss up your client onboarding process. So look out for that checklist later tonight or tomorrow. It's definitely going to be there tomorrow. All right, you guys. So